touchlines. What I do is I talk about football games, and maybe when there's a big like today, we just look at the game and try to bring in fans of those particular teams for discussion with them. So today we are looking at the Liverpool versus Chelsea game. And with the Liverpool versus Chelsea game, we know I'm going to give us some of the head-to-head between these games. They've played 64 times, Liverpool winning 24 and Chelsea winning 21, with 19 ending in draw. We all know that for the last 5 games, 4 of those fixtures have ended in draw, with Liverpool winning the last game at Anfield 4-1. So we just want to look at each team and their performance this season so far, with the coaches too, and also we'll be looking at what we need to expect from them. So firstly, we'll start with Liverpool because they are hosting Chelsea at Anfield. So with Raph, what I find out is Arne Slot coming in this season. Though he's a new coach in the EPL, but we've seen that he's showing some things. He has lost only 1 game to Nottingham Forest at home. Apart from that, just considered 2 goals this season. And playing 7 games, conceding 2 goals, being a new manager is something that is hard to find in the EPL. Especially when you are coming in to face coaches like Pep Guardiola and co. It's hard to do that. So I want to find out from you, from Arne Slot's aspect and a Liverpool fan, do you think this season he can do something great for the club? And how do you see his play, his style too?
Wow. Thank you very much for having me. I'm also glad to see everybody. It's been a long time I did something like this, so I'm very, very happy for this opportunity. Thank you. So what I would like to say is that with Arne Slot coming in, as a matter of fact, we Liverpool fans were not too expecting too many from Arne Slot. We thought, and we just believed that it was going to be a work in progress as usual. All the managers we had at Liverpool gave them time for them to settle and then had their games going. But what Arne Slot is doing currently is a bit different from what other previous managers have done. Considering the fact that we decided to sign Martin Zubimendi and that deal failed. You know, as a Liverpool fan, we're looking for a defensive midfielder. Since Fabio left Liverpool, we've not had a proper DM to show up things right in front of Virgil van Dijk and maybe Brahima Konate. So Liverpool, as a Liverpool fan, we're desperately needing a defensive midfielder. Klopp used Alexis McAllister as a DM for the whole of last season, which didn't work too well until we had Alexis McAllister and then Wataru Endo, who's about 33 years old, 31, 32, 33. So we felt the pace and the energy level in the Premiership would be a bit difficult for him to be able to. So he changing Ryan Gravenberch from, let's say, a bad player to a good player. And as part of his backroom staff, I read we also have John Heitinga, which I personally was not even in support of he bringing John Heitinga to the team. Because John Heitinga played for Everton. And you know the rivalry between Liverpool and Everton. I said, okay, this guy coming in, I don't know what he's coming to do. But in one way or the other, John Heitinga together with his team has worked so well. At the moment, if we talk about one of the best midfielders in the Premiership currently, talking about Ryan Gravenberch. And now, as together as a team, I think Arne Slot is doing great. I will not lie about that. When I meet my friends and we are talking about these things, I go like, oh, a game at a time. But when I sit down and look at how the guy is working with the team, unlike Jurgen Klopp was a rock and roll type of manager. We score 1, we score 2, he has to go for more. But Arne Slot likes to be a bit conservative. When Slot scores or we take a lead by a goal or we score 2 in the game, we don't rush to score the 3rd goal. We keep the game, we manage the game slow by slow, and then we are on. So I think the players are really now getting to the style he's bringing on board. The style he's bringing on board is different from what Klopp is doing. Klopp wants to score 4 or 5. In our quest to score, we score 1, we score 2. Our 3rd goal, our opponent might score 1. And behind he came, Alisson Becker said something. Alisson Becker said, Slot is very much concerned about Alisson Becker, getting clean sheets. I personally believe that if you want to win a Premiership, you need a very good defense. Alex Ferguson said so. He said, if you want to win a tournament or if you want to win a league, you have to get a good defense. A good defense win titles and a good attack win games. So I personally am a student of a coach who's a bit defensive minded. And Arne Slot is not being too defensive minded, but is trying to blend a bit of attacking flair, our attacking style of play with Liverpool sitting deep, soaking the pressure, hitting the opponent on a break. So for now, I will just say this for now that he's doing great, and there are great things that we will be
Okay,
expecting.
one question I want to ask from discussions I've had with Liverpool fans, they mostly highlight the situation of when Klopp was around, his midfielders bit more of a defensive type. They were the block of the team where if they are going offensive and they get to lose the ball, those three in the midfield gets to do the defensive role that much compared to in where you are seeing Gravenberch, you are seeing Szoboszlai, we are seeing McAllister getting forward, getting into the box, trying to get chances and assist. But under Klopp, we're that. And with this two style of play, which one do you think, as a fan of Liverpool, fits you well and is good for the club going forward?
That's good. With Jurgen Klopp, when Klopp came to Liverpool, and the season we won the Champions League, and then also we winning the league and some trophies.
Yeah.
We had Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson, and then Fabinho as the three midfielders. Now, if you check these three midfielders, they are all defensive-minded midfielders. We didn't have any dexterity or any flair in that middle of the pitch. So most of our Liverpool's attacking display was coming from our flanks. Either Robertson assist or Trent Arnold assist, or they send crosses into the box. But the game is changing. The game is changing. Pep Guardiola, master of the game. I think some managers are also learning from what he's doing in England.
Yeah.
He uses Rodri in a way that other teams feel like how the guy is playing in that middle. We expected him to be a bit bullish or a bit the strong defensive, like the Gennaro Gattuso's type of midfield. Yeah. But now the game has changed. So I personally, when Ancelotti said he's using Gravenberch as a DM, I've watched Gravenberch from Ajax and to Bayern Munich. He's not the defensive-minded, 100% defensive-minded midfielder. But now look at him now. Gravenberch was an attacking midfielder. He likes to go forward. He has some skills under his belt. But look at him now, playing as a DM. So I think the system Ancelotti is using now for the team, and we are also garnering results out of it. I personally, I wanted a team whereby our defensive midfielders to be very solid, like the N'Golo Kantes, like yes, you can mention them. But now I can see that someone like Alexis McAllister even drops deep. Now, Klopp normally plays Fabinho as let's say a single pivot or one single defensive midfield player. But now Slot is doing the double pivot whereby he has McAllister and Gravenberch. So one seat, one drop, one seat, the other drops. And they allow Szoboszlai to do the dirty work in the middle. So I think that since the game is changing, there are a lot of things managers are learning. We can't only rely on the solid display, the hard display. No, I think he's allowed some flexibility in the midfield and it is working. So that is all I can say. So for now, I think what he's doing is the best for the team.
Okay. So Julius, let's look at Liverpool. Like something more about what you've seen. Though you're a Chelsea, you don't get a chance to watch Liverpool games. Maybe there are days Chelsea and Liverpool will be playing at the same time. But you follow their game for a while, and let's see how you think about he coming into the team and what changes he has done.
Yeah, no, so actually I've been following their games since preseason. Because I was interested to see, how this new guy that they've brought in, how he was sort of filling the shoes of Johan Klopp, obviously. So I think they won their games against Arsenal and United during preseason. The way they played is the same as they're playing now. And, obviously, as Raphael said, the most impressive thing is the balance that he's brought to the team. They're not as attacking as the previous Liverpool, but also they're kind of defensive. They're defensively solid compared to last season. So I've been impressed with Arne Slot, if I'm honest. And I think the only thing we can say is, let's see how he does with the games coming up. So I think he's got Arsenal, Chelsea, obviously this weekend, Real Madrid to come. And so we would like to see how this newly formed midfield of Gravenberch as well would fare with some of these technical players. Because I think facing Chelsea will be a good test as well because of the likes of Caicedo. In my opinion, Gravenberch he's proven to be a good midfielder, sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes, the best midfielders get tested when they come up against, some of these very technical, very speedy midfielders as well. And how you adapt your game as a midfielder is very important as well, other than the instructions that the manager will give you. So I think that's the test for Liverpool going forward. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see Enzo Maresca coming to Chelsea from Leicester. Chelsea fans, most of them were not happy about getting Enzo Maresca to Chelsea because they were looking at be the same Potter, Pochettino, Lampard type of manager signing. But later in preseason, even got most of them even shocked because they were losing games, their style of play, high line, getting exposed and a whole lot of things. So Chelsea fans, most of them were not impressed. By the start of the season, everything changed with the number of players and a whole lot of things. I want us to look at this with Enzo Maresca and Pochettino last season. Pochettino's first 7 games and Enzo Maresca's first 7 games. Which, with Enzo Maresca compared to Pochettino, are you impressed with the changes and some of the things he has done at the club? And what do you think he has done most that has improved this Chelsea setup?
Right. Yeah, so I think every Chelsea fan will tell you that obviously they've been impressed with, the way he's come in, the way he's spoken. He's taken on responsibility. And, for example, last season, Chelsea had issues with penalty takers and that sort of stuff. When they asked Pochettino during the press conference, I think he said, well, I'll leave it to the players to decide. So something like that, I don't think is good for young players. Whereas in contrast, when they asked Enzo Maresca, I think he definitely said, well, this is my penalty taker. This is my captain. This is how things are. And so there's that clear message from the top. Having said all that, I think we're being a little bit disingenuous to Pochettino as well, because I think when he came into the club, it was a little bit different compared to Enzo Maresca. So it's like Pochettino had sort of put in the work, he stabilized things a bit. He's established players like Cole Palmer into the team, Noni Madueke, who I'm a big fan of. And Enzo Maresca at the moment is effectively continuing the good work of Pochettino. So that's his start, I'd say. That's one of the good things he's done is he's been authoritative, he's taken responsibility, and also he's continued what Pochettino was doing, especially at the latter stages of last season. In terms of tactics, I was a little bit surprised because you mentioned the possession style from Leicester. I think that's what a lot of Chelsea fans were expecting. We're expecting him to come in and have this sort of Pep Guardiola style of football. But actually, what he surprised us with is how adaptable he's been with his tactics. So sometimes we play the high line, and then sometimes we kind of sit back and allow others to come onto us and then pick them up. Like, for example, at Brighton. Luckily for me, I was actually at the Brighton game, and it's one of the best footballing games I've seen, where we just allow them to come onto us, create their space in behind. So, I mean, and again, you see this a different style of football against Wolves, against Nottingham Forest. I think we're going to see a mixture of that, hopefully, throughout this whole season, where we have a manager who can adapt to the opponent that we're playing. So that's one of the things I've been most impressed by him.
Okay, so if, as a Chelsea fan, what targets do you think Enzo Maresca can be able to achieve at Chelsea this season? Because he coming in, we know that they've been a whole mess about this club with their transfers, with their managers, with owners, even sometimes having battles of who is to own the club. One is trying to buy the other out. So what is the target as a Chelsea fan you are setting for Enzo Maresca this season?
Yeah, I think, well, when they asked him about this question during the press conference, I think people were expecting him to say top 4. But then he said that he's been told that, this is a long-term project, 5 years, whatever. But we all know that, at Chelsea, you don't get 5 years to do that. So I think Chelsea fans are expecting top 4 finish, especially with given the start of the season that he's had so far. We expect him to finish top 4. I think anything other than top 4 will be a failure, simply because last season we finished 6th. If you remember, we had we had a bad start to the season, but we managed to pick up to finish sixth. So if you've started well enough this season, I think, and with the more investment that we've gotten rid of some of the bad players and brought in more quality. I think expecting fourth is very realistic for Chelsea this season.
Okay, that's cool. So Raph, I want to find out Enzo Maresca coming to Chelsea. What is your take on that? As you said, Lott came into Liverpool as a new manager. He's also coming in as but he has gotten the chance to have a feel of the Premier League under Pep Guardiola, being part of his coaching staff. Maybe some video analysis of other games. He's been able to get like a direct insight of it and know how the league is being played. But on Lott's side, he had like maybe zero ideas about the league, but he is trying to adapt. With Enzo Maresca at Chelsea, what do you see? And do you think he's the right man for Chelsea?
Maresca has surprised me a little bit because when he came in, Chelsea's first 2 games didn't go too well. And then he came under some passion from section of the Chelsea fans. But I feel after that 2-3 games, Chelsea has begun to play very well, and which is a bit encouraging. I mean, I feel he has given the boys some sort of flexibility. The likes of Madueke, last season, if you can watch some of your boys carefully, they were under some pressure from Pochettino. But currently, they play with some kind of flexibility, some kind of freedom and all. So I feel that flexibility and the freedom he has given to the boys for them to be able to operate is what is working magic for him currently. Because if you look at the Chelsea team, there were some players who were not even rated as a last season. Someone like Cucurella, for example. If you could ask Benedict, there was a point I argued him on Cole Palmer because I thought Cole Palmer wasn't convincing enough, and I remember Ben told me how good. Because look at Cole Palmer now. Surprisingly, Palmer is playing so well. But when we get into the Liverpool v Chelsea game, I'll do that analysis when we get to that one. So I feel he's going to do well for Chelsea. I don't know what is working the trick for him, but the guy is working. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what the guy is doing so well at Chelsea. But so I'm trying to figure that out. Managed to turn things around at Chelsea currently.
Okay.
And I feel the flexibility and the freedom he has given for the boys to operate within the team is what is working magic for him. And he's doing great as a Chelsea manager currently. And so let's see how things are going to go. So I was just saying that what actually is working the magic for Chelsea, I'm still trying to figure it out. Since I know is the freedom he has given the boys to play is very, very good for the team psyche. So that is all I can see for Enzo Maresca. Yeah.
Do you think Palmer in this game is a very dangerous player coming from the Chelsea setup to this game? But he's the one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you think?
Yes.
What do you think he will do in this game, and how can Liverpool stop Cole Palmer in this game?
If whatever they are doing Palmer is the creative spark in the team currently.
Yeah.
And if Liverpool wants to do something in that game, they have to close or cut the channels or supplies to Cole Palmer. If they allow Cole Palmer to get space and time, he's going to split our defense with a pass. I have underrated that boy, but I have watched games where this guy is doing so great. Sometimes my Liverpool bias tells me that I shouldn't speak too good about Cole Palmer, but I've watched this guy and I can tell you on authority that if we give that guy space and time on the ball, he will split our defense up. So we have to cut the supplies to him, make sure that he doesn't get much of the ball. Even if he's going to receive the ball, he should do that with his back facing our goal post. But when we give him that time for him to operate and scan the environment, I think that guy will cause us problems. So cutting supplies
I just wanted to interrupt you. Okay, sorry, on the Copa, because I think you mentioned that you don't know or you couldn't figure out how or why this guy is so good. I just wanted to say I think the main thing about him is his footballing intelligence, right? So a lot of the time you see that he drifts out wide, for example, when he's being marked out in the middle, he'll drift out wide, try to affect the game. He's also actually good at playing with his back turned to the goal. I think people underrate that about him a little bit. I think I was having a discussion with Ben some time ago when he said, well, actually, I said he should play as a striker, right? And then the argument was that, he's not good with his back 10 to goal. He's not a natural number 9. But I think sometimes he performs well when his back is 10 to go as well. So I think definitely Cole Palmer will be our danger man. No surprise about that. But I'd say that Liverpool should try not to mark him out of the game. I wouldn't say, mark him or anything, because I think that would cause you some tactical problems in the middle. But yeah.
I think Cole Palmer, I was also thinking of replaying him as a striker some time back, but later, a game against Middlesbrough, he was played as a false 9. He missed a lot of chances. So from that day, I was like, no, any coach coming to Chelsea should look at playing him as a 10, giving him the role to be able to find those little spaces and be able to get there. Sometimes playing as a striker, you are forced to make runs and try to create space for yourself, which is something he is good in doing them when he has he's facing the goalpost. So he'll be able to look at the runs from other players and just set them up, which last season, I think, against Middlesbrough, in the Middlesbrough game, it showed. But Julius, what I want to find out is we are talking about Cole Palmer, but on the Liverpool side, which player do you think is also dangerous and can harm Chelsea in this game?
So I don't know if he's a popular choice for everyone or for Liverpool fans, but I think Jota is a dangerous player. I find him very clinical. He's one of those players you don't want him to get a chance, because I think he scored twice or so against Chelsea. Someone would have to check that for me. But yeah, he's one of those players you don't want him to get the ball. You don't want him to get a chance in the box. He's quite dangerous. The obvious ones are Mo Salah, obviously. But and also, knowing that Cucurella will be missing this game, having Renato Vega, who is our second left back, against an experienced Mo Salah will definitely be a problem for us. But I think what I'm confident about is the fact that we've got Levi Colwill on that left-hand side. I think he's good at covering because of his recovery pace. That should help us, I believe, against Mo Salah on that right-hand side. But yeah, so 2 players I think in the attack would be Mo Salah and yeah. I didn't mention Luis Diaz because I think he'll be dealt with by Malo Gusto quite well, I think. So I think that will help us on that side. So I don't think he's a good player, but I think Chelsea fans will tell you that Malo Gusto is actually a very, very good defender as well. We've also got Reece James. So I think that side of the pitch is covered. But yeah.
Okay, so looking at the line,
So I don't know if